to hear the news. I felt when I heard it that a part of Man City, we will lose something. We cannot define our period here without him, without Liverpool. Impossible. They have been our biggest rivals. And personally, he, Klopp, has been the best rival I ever had in my life, in Dortmund when I was in Bayern, then here. I think the Premier League are going to miss him, the charisma, the personality, and especially the way his teams play. The feud between the two has been incredibly intense. Their head-to-head record is very close too. In 29 meetings, Klopp has emerged victorious on 12 occasions, while Guardiola got the better of his rival on 11. About as close as it can get. Klopp doesn't think he'll ever manage a club again. Guardiola hopes he changes his mind. Maybe it's my opinion, and he will not admit it, but he will be back. I know it. Football needs managers and personalities like him. And I hope, it was our dream when we were together, hopefully, now, from next season we can have time to go to dinner together. Or have the drink that we deserve to take. He loves the game, but it is 9 years in the same place, the demand is so high. Every moment you think I need to breathe. I didn't speak with Jurgen, but maybe he feels that. Take a break, take a step back and take a perspective on everything. I understand completely. I don't want to compare with him, but at Barcelona, I had that feeling. I needed the time to find myself. It's a very heartfelt tribute from Guardiola, fitting for a man with the legacy that Klopp has had in the Premier League. Regardless of your thoughts and feelings on Liverpool, there's no denying just how big a loss his departure from Anfield will prove to be. There are few managers quite like him. Jurgen Klopp to leave Liverpool at the end of season. Jurgen Klopp has shockingly announced that he will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the 2023/24 season. The German coach confirmed the news in an interview with the club, bringing an end to his 9-year spell at Anfield. Klopp joined Liverpool in 2015 and has helped turn them into one of the best sides in Europe. Guiding the Reds to a Champions League and a first Premier League title, he has been key to the club's recent success. But Klopp believes that the time is right to bring his time in Merseyside to an end this season. He has informed Liverpool's owners of his desire to leave his position at the end of 2023/24, with the club publishing an interview to confirm the news. I can understand that it's a shock for a lot of people in this moment, when you hear it for the first time, but obviously I can explain it, or at least try to explain it, he said. I love absolutely everything about this club, I love everything about the city, I love everything about our supporters, I love the team, I love the staff. I love everything, but that I still take this decision shows you that I am convinced it is the one I have to take. It is that I am, how can I say it, running out of energy. I have no problem now, obviously, I knew it already for longer that I will have to announce it at one point, but I am absolutely fine now. I know that I cannot do the job again and again and again and again. After the years we had together and after all the time we spent together and after all the things we went through together, the respect grew for you, the love grew for you, and the least I owe you is the truth, and that is the truth. Klopp made decision to leave months ago. Manager informed club's owners in November. Adding to his initial statement, Klopp went on to describe how he arrived at his decision, revealing that he had actually informed the club that he wanted to leave in November 2023. The initial thoughts came about during conversations about the club's near future, at which point the manager began questioning whether he would be there. I told the club already in November, Klopp revealed. I have to explain a little bit that maybe the job I do people see from the outside, I'm on the touchline and in training sessions and stuff like this, but the majority of all the things happen around these kind of things. That means a season starts and you plan pretty much the next season already. When we sat there together talking about potential signings, the next summer camp and can we go wherever, the thought came up, I am not sure I am here then anymore, and I was surprised myself by that. I obviously start thinking about it. It didn't start, then, but of course last season was kind of a super difficult season and there were moments when at other clubs probably the decision would have been, come on, thank you very much for everything, but probably we should split here, or end it here. That didn't happen here, obviously. For me, it was super important that I can help to bring this team back onto the rails. It was all I was thinking about. When I realized pretty early that happened, it's a really good team with massive potential and a super age group, super characters, and all that, then I could start thinking about myself again, and that was the outcome. It is not what I want to do, it is just what I think is 100% right. Klopp's Liverpool legacy. He will go down as one of Liverpool's greatest ever managers. Klopp joined Liverpool in October 2015 as Brendan Rodgers' replacement and arrived at a team who were some way behind the chasing pack for European qualification, let alone Premier League glory. What he managed to build at Anfield, however, was unprecedented, signing players who would go on to become club legends like Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. He guided them back into Champions League and Premier League title contention, helping them win both competitions. On top of that, he added the FIFA Club World, FA Cup, League Cup and UEFA Super Cup to the Reds trophy cabinet, and made them one of the most feared outfits across the continent. Averaging 2.07 points per game in the Premier League, the third most in the competition's history, there haven't been many managers who have disrupted Manchester City's domestic dominance in recent years as effectively as Klopp. With Liverpool top of the Premier League in 23-24, he could yet add another English League title to his CV before his time at Anfield comes to a close. Attention at Liverpool will now turn to appointing his successor, with Xabi Alonso one potential option for them. The Bayer Leverkusen manager has been linked with a return to his old club. Let us know what you think about the entire thing, in the comments section below. Additionally, stay tuned and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the latest news and updates from around the world. We sign out.
Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Oh, yes, huge news. I don't know about you, but I did not see that coming at all. So let's go straight to Loz, big Liverpool fan. Your thoughts when you first heard the news?
In terms of football, it's a historic moment, I think, for Liverpool. It's the end of an era. It's the end of us having our confidence reinstilled in the whole club and essentially being reminded of what we thought Liverpool were. He actually made us what we wanted to be. That, I think, it's genuinely one of the biggest things that's ever happened in in the Premier League in general. But to us specifically, it's world-shattering. And
of course, you've met him and worked with him. We were just chatting off camera, actually. You were saying one of your favourite ever shoots was with Klopp.
Definitely,
One of my favourite ever shoots was with Klopp. We've also done one together, which was... He's always gold dust whenever we're with him. You've obviously worked with him as well. Tell us about your experience with him.
His presence is the thing that strikes you first, right? There's like an aura that comes into the room with him. And it's not just the thing that he's Liverpool manager or whatever. If he was whatever team's manager, he would bring that same aura, that same presence and the same energy. And that was the main crux of the interview, right? The energy that Jurgen Klopp brings. And that's where I guess I understand it. I understand everything he says in the interview. Maybe as a Liverpool fan, I'm kind of primed to want to understand it. But himself, he commands the whole room. Yeah. And it's hard to think of another manager right now that we could replace him with that would have that same impact.
What are your thoughts on the timing of it? Because maybe just as a Man United fan, I was a bit surprised. It felt very out of the blue. There was no chat mid-season.
Yeah, right.
You're right in the mix for a Premier League title and all the other trophies. What do you think about the timing?
Well, timing-wise, it is kind of a couple of different gates for that, right? So November was the first time when he went and told the owners, probably giving them some time to work out what their next steps were. At the same time, he says in the summer he started to feel that way when they were going through transfers. And he got that thing in his head where he said, I might not be here after that. And then I think, as obviously as football fans, we're incredibly entitled to be like, oh, you know, well, it's the timing of it and all this sort of thing. If he says it's the right thing to do, every Liverpool fan just goes, well, if Jurgen Klopp says it, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that, actually.
What do you think, Flex?
I agree. Of course, I think we have to take our Man United hats off for a little bit, just as a neutral.
You're smiling. Why are you smiling?
No, because look, from a Manchester United fan perspective, of course, them losing one of their greatest ever managers in the modern, their greatest manager of the modern era, in this era. Of course, that's going to be music to Manchester United fans' ears and everybody else who's been trying to keep up with Liverpool in the 8.5 years that Klopp's been there. He's been absolutely brilliant. So from that perspective, absolutely, we're rejoicing. But actually, when I look at it in terms of what he is to this league, the league's missing a massive character. You know, and I like the old school Premier League when you talk about the feuds between the managers and people with personalities. We need these people in our game. And I'm not saying he's never going to be in the game again, but the fact that he's saying I'm never going to imagine another team in England.
Strong quotes, weren't they?
They're really, really strong. And I actually looked at it first and I went to the video to go and watch it and so I can laugh and be happy that he's gone. And then I was listening to his voice and I was like, this is a bit off, actually. I hope he's all right. I hope he's like, and then he confirmed that I'm not ill or anything like that. But actually, I agree with what you said. When he says it's the time for him to go, and especially the management style that he has, he gives his all. He's inspiring. He's off the pitch. He's brilliant. On the pitch, he's giving it all as well. Or on a touchline, he's giving it all. So for him to keep that up, that's a tough ask. And I actually respect the line where he says, it's better that it's too early than too late. And he's left them in the best possible position that they could be in.
Should we talk about where he ranks then in terms of greatest ever Premier League managers? Where would you put him?
Be sensible.
Joe, look me in the eye.
Be sensible about this.
Joe. I think he's on the Mount Rushmore, so it puts him in the conversation. He's not above Sir Alex, obviously. No. Sir Alex is the greatest Premier League manager of all time, and I think he always will be. It's hard to see anyone dethroning him or coming up anywhere near him. There's conversations where Klopp's mixing it with Wenger. I think he's mixing it with Mourinho. And I think most people want to talk about trophies, and maybe he doesn't compare favourably there, although maybe in the future he will if, rulings go the right way. But the main crux of it is, people talk about Pep's passing and what he brought to the league. We don't really mention enough how much gegenpressing and then pressing was brought to the league by Klopp. If you look back at the time, people are explaining pressing to the audience as Klopp's coming into the Premier League. And that was an English thing from the 80s that he even references as like a thing that he was really inspired by. So I think he's had a bigger influence than just winning trophies or, being Liverpool manager. He's kind of ushered in this pressing idea into the Premier League. It's not that other managers didn't do it, but he was one of the main proponents of it. And that shaped modern football in terms of what we now know as our game.
It's powerful looking back at his first press conference when he said, don't judge someone when they come in, judge them when they leave. And it's like, wow, never a true percent. I mean, the 10th when they took over and he's won 6 major trophies, every single major trophy he could have won as well. So it's fascinating seeing it. Did get us thinking, huge shoes to fill. You said as well, what I will like to make a point is a lot of Man United fans I saw buzzing, and I saw one say on social media, I'm absolutely buzzing Klopp's leaving, but that's the biggest compliment I can pay to Jurgen Klopp. Because it shows how good a manager he was. But it did get everyone thinking who is going to replace him, because it is massive shoes to fill. We've got a Liverpool fan, we've got the Saturday Social Whiteboard, Joe, so do you want to explain the rules to this one?
I think this is basically the impossible job, isn't it? But Loz, we've asked you to pick your top 5 candidates to replace Jurgen Klopp as Liverpool manager. I didn't think I'd be saying that this weekend. We're going in reverse order, so we'll start at 5 and we'll work our way up to your number 1 candidate, because I think the top 2 or 3 maybe a bit more standout than...
Well, I mean, that's up to you.
Let's have a look at your 5.
That's up to the audience.
I didn't want to say it, but I've had a glimpse of your number 5.
You're not happy with 5, are you?
I'm not.
I think terrible.
Let's reveal to the camera who you've gone with for number 5 then, Loz.
OK, can I just explain my ruling around that?
Of course you can. It's your pick, man.
No, absolutely. This man, Jose Mourinho. Now, you guys came to me and went top 5. I thought, really, there's like a top 3 or 4 and then some fun slots. Fun slot.
That's not going to be fun.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Jose Mourinho years ago.
It's fun for us.
OK, all right, already it started sniping at our next manager. Can't help themselves, these United fans. No, but seriously, Jose Mourinho was at one point destined to manage Liverpool. There are quotes back in the day of him saying, I was meant to be doing it, and then something happened behind the scenes. Now it was destiny that Klopp was to be Liverpool manager. But maybe this man's destiny is to lead us back.
You do not believe
Flex
that.
really wants to come in here. Go on,
honestly, I have my manual, my post-Jose, trauma manual. If you get him, I'll give it to you. You can have a read of it. He would ruin every single foundation that Klopp has put in to that Liverpool side.
It'd be fun, wouldn't it?
For us, yes, to watch it just capitulate. He just is not the right man in terms of the modern game now. And I actually got a lot of respect for Jose. Like, what he's done at Roma, I was happy to see.
Talking about Mount Rushmore's Premier League managers, he would be on there.
100%. And I'm not.
You guys would be thrilled to have this guy right now. 2 sixth-place finishes in Serie A back to back.
And I tell you what, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're going to become if you bring him in. Front foot attacking football, exciting. Jose Mourinho at Liverpool, please. I want that to be number one.
Well, stick it on it. It is your pick.
Can I put it up there?
Yeah. As I say, it's your pick, and Flex will be critiquing them. So you're not having number 5. Should we move on?
Will you have number 4?
Number 4.
I think this is someone that Joe and I probably agree on.
I really like Julian Nagelsmann. Maybe it's just...
Instant shout.
It feels like that opinion, though, has waned a little bit after his sacking at Bayern Munich and kind of joining the German national team. I feel like the reputation of Nagelsmann has actually taken a bit of a hit there.
Pre-Bayern Munich, though, his reputation, I mean, he was one of the most touted managers
He's only 36.
in the world. He's only 36 now. Obviously, he's the German national team manager. But interestingly, contract only until after the Euros. So what would you make of that, Flex?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. It wouldn't be... I don't even like saying this. It wouldn't be my first pick.
Sure. Well, that's my 4th pick, mate, so we agree on that.
I hope... No, I'm saying me as a United fan saying wouldn't be my first pick. Like, I don't really care. I hope they get the appointment wrong. But I think he can do well. I like him. The fact that, like you said, he's a young up-and-coming manager. He's not exactly... In terms of personality, obviously... There's nobody who can replicate what Jurgen Klopp gives, but I think he's done well, and he is tainted with that time at Bayern, where it's almost like it was a shiny new toy. Everyone praising him. He's had a bit of a difficult time at Bayern, and now all of a sudden he's a poor manager. I don't believe that. So I think there's some good bits about him. Yeah, I can see why you got him on your list.
Football's all about consciousness for me, and if you're out of the consciousness, then people tend to forget what is good about you and what was maybe negative about you. I think there's a lot of good around him, and some institutions in Europe have got a tendency to not allow you to be yourself. Bayern Munich, brilliant club, but you have to be the Bayern way. What Liverpool have sort of done under Klopp is become a bit more malleable. There is an openness now to, well, you know, who can you be? Who could you make us into? Who can you revive from a past manager? I think he's young, he's audacious, he plays the kind of football that we want to play, and there's a consistency to like that idea of manager. So I don't mind that. And I think also we'll get him fairly cheap because, you know, he'll be there. And also, who goes the other way? We'll trade you. Klopp for this guy. You can have Klopp and we'll take this.
Klopp to the German national team.
I don't think that's a dreadful shout. Actually. I don't think he will be the person that replaces Klopp.
Yeah,
but I stick him on.
I do think, like, as well, the Nagelsmann stuff at Bayern is, you know, maybe a little bit overplayed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's really hard to succeed at Bayern. You have to be almost perfect, and it's not as if Thomas Tuchel's come in and just blown what Nagelsmann was doing out of the water either. So I don't.
Wasn't that long either as well? I know what you mean about the narrative there. Now we get into the interesting part, the top 3.
Well, no, this was still interesting.
This was
fascinating chat.
It was very
Nagelsmann and Jose.
I'll be watching it back later many times on all the platforms you can catch us on. But who's your number 3, mate?
Yeah, look, there he is, Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank, okay.
Yeah. It's the innovative nature of Brentford. It's what he's done in the Premier League on a relatively low budget.
Amazing job at Brentford.
But I mean, you know, in terms of manager of the season, I think he's always in that kind of conversation. I know it's difficult to maintain momentum at a club where, you know, maybe their budgets aren't as generous as it would be at the top of the league, and that's understandable. But the football that he plays, the way that he matches up with some of the other managers, and the way that the players love him, he ticks all those boxes. And if you give him the war chest or whatever you want to call it, you just wonder what could he be? And he has that charisma and personality, again, that, I don't know, we might want.
You see similar personality traits with Klopp and Thomas Frank?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Klopp is, everything's turned up to 100, so, you know, it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
But this man, I think, has been so consistent in the league. There's an argument, there's almost a Brendan Rodgers-y type vibe where he's on ascending.
Yeah.
And Liverpool could pick him up at a similar time that we did with Rodgers. We had a pretty good run with Rodgers. I think a lot of people forget the run we had with him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
Flex, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, actually. I think because he has a lot of characteristics on an interpersonal level, like the way he would be able to interact with the players, the relationship he could strike up with the fans, because he's quite a warm person.
He's a very
Thomas
liked
Frank.
and respected manager, I feel, from not just the internal fan base, but actually from other fan bases.
Everybody
as well.
likes him, which is weird, because as soon as he goes to Liverpool, that won't be the case. But as soon as anyone goes to Liverpool, it won't be the case. But giving him the different tools, different resources, I feel like it'll be a bit too big for him, though.
Cognitive dissonance.
I do.
He doesn't like it, and so he can't evaluate it in a fair way.
No, I feel like that's too much of a step up.
What I think we should do, Joe, is because Flex is critiquing, when we get to the nitty-gritty now, we should get his thoughts as well as to who he'd have.
I'd like United.
No, in your top 3.
Oh, right.
Top 3. So get thinking.
I would have swapped those 2.
Would you?
Really?
Yeah, I would have had Nagelsmann above Thomas Frank.
It's hard when you've not proven yourself in the Premier League and then someone else has. That's the only reason I put Frank up there, I guess. Because, you know, a lot of people say when you take a transfer from Bundesliga or the Championship, the equivalency between the two, very similar. Championship players coming to the Premier League do pretty well in the same way as Bundesliga players. Same logic with the managers.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look.
This one...
At your number 2.
I've got some good friends at this club, and so I wouldn't want to upset them, but that guy.
Roberto.
Yeah.
He's on the way up. Not sure about the way he dresses, but you know,
Is that an important factor for you?
Very.
He's got the tracksuit on, isn't he?
He's got a bit. Sometimes he mixes
Club
it
shop.
up in the wrong way. You need to look good on the touchline, and I feel like Klopp's always nailed that. The wardrobe's always been on point.
Yeah.
He's club shop as well, Klopp, isn't it? He's just got the Liverpool hat.
Do you remember the first press conference though? Very sharp suit.
Yeah.
Very sharp.
What about his football, though? What about his
Let's
football?
go back to the football. What's a
It's
coach?
slightly social, mate. I'll say what I want.
The way that Brighton played.
The way that Brighton play,
What a coach.
I think also just the fact that he was taken in at Brighton, the fact that really he's taken on a lot of the top managers and shown he's got the chops for it. That's important. And I kind of want to get in there before City do.
I was about to say that. There's a lot of reports, isn't there, that City kind of view Roberto De Zerbi as a potential successor to Pep Guardiola. If both of those clubs are on the table and Roberto has the option to join City or Liverpool, who would you join?
Oh, that's difficult. I'd probably City because they're polished, they have everything, they've dominated. You're walking into, you know, that level of consistency at the top level of winning the top trophies. But if he want, that's where it depends on the individual, because the individual could look at, I want to gate crash that. I want to be the person at Liverpool to infiltrate that dominance by City, and that's where it becomes about the individual's decision. But yeah, on paper you probably say Manchester City, but De Zerbi could prefer Liverpool.
All these guys, project managers, apart from Jose. Even Jose makes a little project of it, but it's like he just burns it at the end.
It is going to be a project, right? Like Klopp has said numerous times, this is already Liverpool 2.0. He's signed a lot of young players. You know, I think at the weekend there was 3 20-year-olds starting, wasn't there? So,
which is an interesting shout for De Zerbi actually, because he actually gave 24 debuts to players aged 23 or under when he was managing the Serie A. And a big part of what he does is give young players, and you've seen that at Brighton now, the amount of young players.
Put anyone in.
He's giving a debut to, but also improving the way they play. So I think De Zerbi is definitely going to be in the mix, so we'll stick him up.
Matching football as well, by the way, so kind of we've got a squad that fits that. He can come in and play it straight away.
Before we get Loz's, I just want to, before you know who Loz has got, who would be your pick out of interest, neutral, biased aside, who do you think is the perfect person to replace Klopp?
I think Xavi Alonso has pretty much all of the boxes ticked, apart from just experience.
Okay, and who have you gone with? In total agreement, wow.
Yeah, there's for once.
Yeah. Go on, why Xabi Alonso to replace Jurgen Klopp for you?
Well, with Alisson, he's one of the most beautiful men in football. He's obviously played for the club. There is that secret release clause that means that we could take him back if we wanted. He's playing great football in the Bundesliga. It feels like he would fit us.
Yeah.
And you know, I know there's a lot of talk in the Sir Alex Ferguson era of who would take over from him, who would be the prolific manager. He's a bit of a change from Klopp in terms of demeanour, and I feel like he seems like he'd be able to handle it in a respectful, level-headed, almost transition away from that rock and roll football that Klopp's got and bring it into this. It's something else that we need, that shift. Whereas a couple of other managers on here, I'm not sure whether we'd know what the identity was or what we were going for. This just says we know what we can get invested in. We know Alonso's one of our men. And let's just face it, look at him.
Stick him up then.
Well,
there we go. Yeah. And total agreement. Xabi Alonso, only team in Europe undefeated all season, by the way, by Leverkusen, doing very well. But that is confirmation of the top 5. So Loz and Flex agree that Xabi Alonso is the perfect man to replace Jurgen Klopp. Zidane didn't get mentioned. There's a few names that we did. There's a lot
Steven Gerrard didn't get mentioned.
Yeah,
he's very busy. He's very busy.
And let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of that top 5, if you agree or if you disagree.
Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Welcome back to Saturday Social. Joining us on the show this week, we've got Loz and Victorious in the closest ball knowledge ever. Flex, very epic encounter that. Good knowledge, I will say, from both of you. Yes. Both did very well. Right, Joe, it is transfer season. We've got two knowledgeable guests on the show. What's the plan for this part?
Yeah, we've just started the year, haven't we? So today we are going to be doing some predictions for every single club's 2024. So calendar year.
Okay.
So 2024 we got first.
And 60 seconds to answer each. Want to hear from both of you. We'll go in alphabetical order. First up, Arsenal. The question we're asking you with regards to predicting 2024 is, will Arsenal end the year without a trophy? Loz?
It's a good question. I think in terms of the Premier League, it's a three-horse race. Obviously, Jurgen's Liverpool, Pep's Man City and Arteta's Arsenal. But I think in the Champions League, there's a sneaky, hey, could we do something here? So actually, the Champions League is what I would put them forward for. Also because I want Liverpool to win the league. But on the other side of that...
But will they, off the fence?
Will they? Yes. They will win the Champions League this season.
Wow.
That is absolutely... Arsenal will have a season of having no trophies. They've put up a nice, cute fight last year to Pep. Yeah, it was cute. But this season, the Champions League's the best chance they've got at silver. I know they are technically still in the title... Not technically, they are in the title race, but City will blow them away. And I think they can get far in Champions League. You know, Inter Milan got to the final last year. If you're on the right side of the draw, it can happen. But ultimately... they are not going to win the Champions League.
Favourable draw, mate. I feel like Arsenal, actually, if they go down the right side, there's not many teams that they can't put up a fight against.
Yeah, I think Arsenal could go very deep in the Champions League as well. OK, let's do number 2. This is Aston Villa. We're going to be talking about Unai Emery here. So will Unai Emery win Premier League Manager of the Season? Will he win the Premier League Manager of the Season?
No, he won't, because Pep will probably just win the league and win other things as well, and then it would just always be Pep. But he should be a lot more talked about as to the job that he's doing at Aston Villa, because he's been absolutely fantastic. And actually, if certain teams lose their managers, I know Liverpool are at the end of the season, who knows what happens at Manchester United, Unai Emery might not even be at Villa next season.
Wow. Oof. Controversial. I think it's a bit like the Oscars, this one. We know now who's going to be the Premier League Manager of the season, down to the fact they want to pay tribute for the greatest.
You think it's nailed on to be Jurgen?
I think so. Just, even if he loses every game between now and the end of the season, Jurgen Klopp will be named as Manager of the Season in the Premier League. Just because of sheer status and the magnitude of what he's done. It's, you know, not everyone wins the Oscar for the film that is the best, but this is...
Surely he has to win the league for that to be the case.
He's not going to get it off sentiment.
He's not going to get a pity one, is he?
No, it's not on pity, mate. No one pities Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp, but modern football's just too, did you win this? Did you win that? He's just leaving and having a great time. Can we not just celebrate that?
OK, that is the minute. That is the minute gone. We've got to move on to Bournemouth, because this one, again, talking about another manager, another manager who's doing really well. Is Iraola becoming the most underrated manager in the Premier League? Loz?
I'll reference actually the previous manager that we were just talking about there, Unai Emery. I think he's hugely underrated in the Premier League. I know a lot of people are now maybe giving him a bit of credit, but I think he deserves even more credit than he already has. It's difficult when you do underrated, overrated, because who are we judging that on? Yeah. Aston Villa fans overall in the league. He's had a really good run recently, and they were the form team up until the point where they played Liverpool. But I think to an extent that burst that bubble. Unai Emery is putting together something which feels like a sustainable long-term option for Aston Villa.
Since they've been good.
And I think Unai Emery still goes under that radar.
Only 2 losses in their last 10 though, and they were to Liverpool and Spurs.
Yeah, it's in fantastic form, but you know, I saw everyone saying that Gary O'Neill was going to get relegated with Wolves. And everyone was sort of looking at him. I'm looking at him as one of the most underrated managers in the league as well. No one's singing his trumpet. So I think it's early days to say...
Singing his trumpet?
Sorry.
There's one thing I love doing. It's singing my trumpet.
That's how good Gary O'Neill is.
Yeah.
Probably could sing a trumpet.
I'm not going to let you finish your sentence. For your sake, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Gary O'Neill's gutted.
Yeah. If you're watching, Gary.
Should we do the next one? It is Brentford. And we're going to be talking about Ivan Toney here, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
So will they be able to keep hold of him in 2024?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Very certain of
absolutely.
Yeah, they won't. I think there's an understanding and the right understanding that it should get to the summer. He's going to help Brentford stay in the league, which he's going to do. He's already come back and scored a goal straight away and had an influential part in that game. He's going to keep scoring to the end of it, and I believe he will get the move that he desires, and the move that actually is going to give Brentford an awful lot of money so that they can rebuild their squad and all parties walk away very happy.
Where do you agree or disagree, Loz? Yeah, it's hard to point. Where does he go?
It's hard to disagree with that. I think considering the way that they structured the Raya deal with Arsenal, there's possibly looking at that rather than like a massive transfer up front. That doesn't really suit Brentford at that point. It's not like they want him off the books. He's a great player that they want.
He'll only have a year left of his contract come the summer.
Yeah.
So they have to cash in, would be the point here. But FFP might actually be the thing that limits them. People needing to spend within their means might inhibit players like Ivan Toney and other really good Premier League players, or just other good players in general, going to places that would benefit their career.
OK, Brighton next up. And the question we're asking is, will Brighton win the Europa League this season? Loz, your thoughts? Obviously, you're a Liverpool fan. Liverpool's still in it.
Yeah, I feel like between now and the end of the season, there are all these the 30 whatever games that Klopp's got left. Surely, to complete that trophy haul, Jurgen Klopp will have to go out there and win the Europa League. I know that seems fairly biased.
Unless his successor knocks him out.
Bayer Leverkusen still in it. Yeah, you've got the likes of Liverpool, Leverkusen, Galatasaray, Milan, Benfica. Who do you think wins the Europa League, Flex?
Liverpool. I thought it would be Liverpool before this news, and now I feel sorry for anyone who has to come up against Liverpool in big, meaningful games, because I think they're going to be a beast that can't be matched in these last few games, in the last games for Klopp towards the end of the season. So, no, Brighton won't win the Europa League, but my gosh, what a job De Zerbi's done in their first season in Europe. They're scoring goals. They've got out their group quite comfortably. They're doing absolutely unbelievably well.
Yeah, tough group as well. Marseille, Ajax, and AEK.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, important point that Flex made there as well. How well they've done in their season and how well De Zerbi's doing. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's do Burnley next, and this is about Vincent Kompany. Will Vincent Kompany keep Burnley in the Premier League?
No, I don't think he will. He's obviously trying to stay true to his principles, which I respect. They just can't get it right. They just don't have enough. It's just as simple as that. They're just not good enough, I think, to stay in this league, along with obviously Sheffield United. I think Luton will probably end up being there. I think Sean Dyche will be okay. I think Thomas Frank will move away from that area. So, no, I don't think they will. I just don't think they have enough quality to get it done.
We'll come on some of those other teams, as you say, because we're doing every team here. But focusing solely on Burnley, do you agree with that? Do you think
it's a tricky one. You could argue that if a team is going to click and they've got a coach who's capable of making them click, then it would be Vincent Kompany. But again, you go back to the quality point. Even then, you do wonder if, with sticking to your principles, all these kind of things.
He's trying to play the right way, though, isn't he?
That's it. That doesn't keep you in the league, though.
Yeah.
As much as people might enjoy watching him, they're darlings of the Premier League, people enjoy watching that style of football, it's hard to see them staying up with sticking to it.
OK, there we go. That's thoughts on Burnley. Let's go to Chelsea now. This is one I'm going to come straight to Flex on, because we're saying, will Chelsea finish above Man United this season? They are 1 point behind Man United currently in 8th. Flex, thoughts?
Maybe. I don't know. No.
Off the fence, come
No,
on.
they're not.
Mate.
No, they're not. I've spent a lot of time laughing at Chelsea this season, saying that they're way worse than us. Then I had a look at the table and thought, actually, we're allies. But now I'm back off that now. I've got to fight for something towards for the rest of the season. I'm not going to sort of be soft and say that Chelsea are going to finish above us. We've got players coming back off injury, and Eric's going to get it right to the fact that we finish higher than Chelsea.
Who finishes higher, Loz? I don't want to maybe Chelsea or Man United for you.
I'm a big Pochettino proponent. I think Chelsea turn this year, and they're in one final. It's big. That's a chance to turn a season. A lot of people say, especially for Liverpool or a Man City or someone, they say that's a chance to turn your season or win something early.
True.
Why can't Pochettino do that? Why can't he reinstill some confidence in that team?
Worked with Ten Hag last year.
Because he has to go against Klopp. That's why he's not going to win that.
I can't tell if that was sarcasm, but it's brilliant.
So Chelsea finish higher for
I think Chelsea finish higher, just purely because Pochettino's got the confidence of everyone around him, and I think he's going to stick around.
OK.
All right, let's do Crystal Palace. Shall we? The other end of the table. Will they get dragged into the relegation battle?
No, I think they will be just about OK, because just by default, I think there's 3 teams that are worse than them. So even if Palace continue in this form, which is obviously not great.
19th in the form table across the last 10 games.
Really poor.
5 points off relegation at the minute.
Really, really poor. I just don't see Luton, Sheffield United or Burnley being in a strong enough position to actually capitalise on that meaningfully.
I think there's actually a galvanising effect around the club now. If you're Roy Hodgson, you've only got a limited period left with these players. You know that there's a lot of players in there who probably want to play either for a transfer or to keep their team in the league, because this is their best chance of being a Premier League player. And at the same time, the fans aren't really having a go at the players here. They're having a go at the ownership. Those are 2 very different things. If Roy's smart, which he definitely is, we know what a good manager he is, then he'll be going in there and going, this isn't about us, this is about the ownership. Let's go out there, keep the team in the league. You're playing for a contract, and I think he'll be all right.
All right, let's move straight on to that.
Okay, let's go to the next one then. We'll go straight from Crystal Palace to Everton. So the one we're asking Everton is, will Everton be able to keep hold of Amadou Onana? Having a really good season, isn't he, Onana?
Amazing.
Really top player. Flex, your thoughts?
No, I think he'll go. Obviously, I think Everton will be okay in terms of not getting relegated or anything like that. Well, you never know if obviously they've got some situations going on off the pitch and how that may affect them. But I think Onana is actually ahead of schedule of where he is, and he's been tipped and linked with a lot of clubs
where
already.
Where will he go then for you? Go on.
I could see him going to Arsenal.
Say it.
I could see Manchester United being in for him. But I'll be honest.
Please be honest.
For me.
Yeah.
Not for
Really?
me. Yeah, not for me. But I think he's good. I think he's good, and I think he's definitely
only 22 as well.
Yeah, he's a really young prospect. He's doing really well.
We value honesty on this show. I think it's important to remember that with young players like that, they're not in any rush to get out of the club, especially if they know there's possibly a relegation in there. I think if Everton were to go down, then he'd have every right to say, I want to leave because my development. I also think at this point, with the way that things have been going and with the points deductions, he'd probably have every right as well. If they stay in the league and you're Sam or whoever it is that comes in, or there's, Sam Allardyce or a big manager who keeps them up, what do you do next? Do you go, we can keep you around, we can stick? I just don't think it's possible.
Okay, yeah, he's only 22, by the way.
22?
Yeah, actually, the next one, Fulham.
Let's do it.
Let's keep the pace up. Where will Fulham finish at the end of this season? Let's come to you first, Loz.
They'll finish in the Premier League, mate. That's just Fulham status.
That's so helpful, that way.
No.
20 spots.
Yeah.
So I was at the Liverpool away match against Fulham, and in that game they kind of sat back, but you could still see there's so much danger to hit the opposition with. There's a chance they could creep into the top 10 at the end of the season, but it's so competitive.
Yeah.
I think Raul Jimenez is going to put in a good shift towards the end of the season and do them good. I just think there's times when they need to just lock it up a bit at the back and make sure that they just don't concede silly goals, and that makes a big difference for them.
Yeah, but around about mid-table, maybe just about below. I think Marco Silva's doing a
13th.
A good job there.
13th at the moment in the Premier League.
Yeah, probably between there and 10th.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah, I don't think higher than 10th, but I can see them just going on a good run here or there. Then they might take a couple of defeats and then stabilise again. But he's done good things, Marcus Silva.
Yeah, good point. Okay, let's go straight on to Liverpool then. I know that Loz wants to eagerly talk about his beloved Liverpool, and we're asking very simply, how many trophies will Liverpool finish this season with? They're on for 4 currently. How many will they win?
2.
Which two? The
Premier League and the Carabao Cup.
Wow, so you don't think they'll win the Europa League then?
I think there's going to be there'll be a sting in the tail of one of these competitions where Klopp will be disappointed or whatever. And I think if I'm Jurgen Klopp, I'm actually thinking about my big legacy as I leave. That's the Premier League.
So you think they'll prioritise, everything will be about prioritising the Premier League title?
It has to go into the Premier League is the premier competition in the world, and I don't think he cares about his legacy at this point. But if I'm a Liverpool player, I'm thinking for the next couple of years, we don't know which manager's going to come in next, all these kind of things. This is our last dance type scenario where we can go, we won 2 Premier League titles under the greatest manager of the modern times for Liverpool.
This will be the 20th.
Flex, as a United fan, how many trophies do you think Liverpool will win?
They're not going to get that. I do think they're going to win 3.
Which 3?
I think they're going to win the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, and I think they're going to be a force in the FA Cup.
Going to be a force in the FA Cup.
Yeah, as in, and
they don't.
Well, I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to win it.
They don't win the Premier League for you.
No, they don't win the Premier League for me. I think they'll come up against maybe a City or something in the FA Cup, and again, what's riding on it in his last season?
Can't even say it, can he? He can't go, I think City win it. He goes, it's like weather to him. It might be sunny.
4th in a row or 20th is a disaster. Either way. Okay, let's go to Luton at the bottom of the league. Are Luton the best equipped to avoid the drop? Out
of the newly promoted teams, I'll say yes. I think you spoke about sort of how Vincent Kompany plays, and that's probably not synonymous with a relegation battle. The way Luton play and how competitive they are in the games, going toe-to-toe with actually some of the best teams, and then when they play some of the teams around them, they're sort of nicking it as well. I actually think that suits what their objective is way more than Sheffield United, who I think are really, really struggling, will probably finish bottom, and way more than Burnley. So yeah, I do think they've got enough with what they've got.
Did you say best equipped? Was that
of the newly promoted sides?
Do you know what makes them really well equipped? It's that away trip.
Yeah, Kenilworth Road.
Horrible.
Yeah.
horrible ground. Like,
All
it's
the big
amazing
teams
if you're a
have
Luton
struggled
fan.
there.
Yeah.
All the big teams have struggled there.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times throughout the times they've been coming through the leagues. The atmosphere hasn't changed, the people haven't changed. That's exactly
Great
what
for the
we
league,
want to
though,
get
isn't
to
it? It's brilliant for the league.
And I think a lot of the times that sort of thing goes underestimated because a lot of modern grounds are just modern grounds to people. But going to Luton, it's like a really claustrophobic atmosphere. Liverpool have struggled there. A lot of big teams have struggled there this season. They're going to nick points off people for that exact reason.
I agree. Right, let's go to Man City now. Similar to the Liverpool one, off the fence from both of you, please, for this one. We're asking, will Man City win every trophy available to them in 2024? Flex, we'll come to you first.
No, because Jurgen Klopp's going to make sure of that, like I just said. But honestly, one of the things I said, as soon as they won the treble last season, I said, the thing that sickens me most is that can easily win the treble again this season. I said that then. But I think Jurgen Klopp's going to put a stop to that. But
How many will they win then? Go on.
They're going to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
And they're going to win... No, they're just going to win the Premier League.
Not the Champions League, not the FA Cup, just the Premier League for you?
The reason Pep Guardiola looked so happy yesterday when paying tribute to Jurgen Klopp in that press conference was because he knows it clears a huge lane in winning trophies. And I think this season Man City will go trophyless because of Jurgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta. Boom, I said it.
Wow.
Trophyless.
Trophyless.
Yeah, you don't want controversy. You invite the king.
It's,
he did say, didn't he, Pep, in the interview that we did with him, his toughest ever manager, and he thought he might give a few.
He said yesterday,
Jurgen Klopp, didn't he? He said Jurgen Klopp, he goes, whenever we face him, he's just been just an amazing...
He said yesterday he'd be sleeping easier without Jurgen Klopp. Maybe he'll sign a new contract. So.
Wow.
Who's the manager who's taken the most wins against Pep Guardiola?
Jurgen, I believe.
He knows the answer.
All right, let's go to Man United. Talking about managers potentially as well, but we're talking about Ineos 2 on this one. Will Sir Jim Ratcliffe turn Man United into title contenders? Lots of talk about that takeover at the moment. Lots of changes going on. What does it mean for him in 2024?
Within the calendar year, I don't think we'll be title challengers. I think that step's too unrealistic with the changes that need to be made. The first month of Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been fantastic in terms of being front of house, being present, being vocal with fans, being at the games, and most importantly, going to get a CEO out of the blue that we really didn't see at Coop coming. Still got to get a sporting director, still got to get head of recruitment, still so much to change. So I don't think we get to the summer and all of that's so perfect that by the time it gets to December, we're in a title race. But I thought it was a funny game.
I think you're going to see the shoots of that title challenging team coming through. You can already see it with the new ownership, all the articles you read, everything else. I think they've made some of the mistakes that they would have made at Manchester United over in France. So they've got a lot of that out of the way. I think their understanding of sport is exceptional on not just football, but sport. And I think that's going to massively benefit Manchester United. I have a similar feeling from the moves they're trying to make and the moves they have made, that they're doing what every good ownership should do, and not just getting rid of absolutely everyone and then bringing in someone that they like, bringing in the right people to replace those and have an actual structure. You know, haven't had that for like a decade.
It'd
be really interesting to see how that unfolds, isn't it? It'd be really interesting. Next up, Newcastle. Don't forget, we're in alphabetical order. So Newcastle next. We're saying, will Newcastle be forced to sell to balance the books? So we saw a lot of players linked, the likes of Trippier, the likes of Callum Wilson as well. But
Alexander Isak.
Exactly, yeah. But do you think they will be forced to sell or not?
I think they will lose. I think they will lose one or two. I do. I think actually they're a victim of their own success. I think because they've probably got too good too quickly in terms of versus the resources that they have and the revenue they generate, it's left them in this position whereby they've got to balance the book with PSR. So I know it can be seen as quite worrying times for Newcastle fans because of that, but actually it's probably a natural succession for the ceiling that they've reached really, really quickly. And I think they've got the right people in there to circumnavigate that in the right way. So, yeah, but I think they will have a few casualties for that.
Do you agree or disagree with Flex?
I agree, but I've got kind of a theory about it. A lot of clubs this season are close to the line in terms of what they're spending. We saw Arsenal have to try and work out how to get a goalkeeper and those kind of things. Not everyone comes out and says, it's really tricky financially for us right now. A lot of people have to sell to buy. And, teams have won the Premier League doing it. Newcastle have done it because I think Newcastle are stepping into rooms and people are going, it's Newcastle United, 150 mil then. And I think now they can go out there and go to everyone, tricky out there. We've got a cap in hand. Do you think we could get him for 50? We'll see. I think that's where they've been really smart because people have just been trying to rip them off.
I'd love it if that was how it works. They're just that straightforward.
Man Staveley is watching right now.
So that's exactly how it works.
She just pointed to the screen and went, he's onto us.
Let's go to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Morgan Gibbs-White? Is he still going to be there next season?
Yeah, it's a weird one, this. I don't see too many places he can go in the Premier League, especially.
Big United fan. Big United.
Yeah. Is he? But no, I can't see it. But I actually thought of a bit more of a rogue one. I think he could end up at like Atletico Madrid or AC Milan or Juve, just something where we didn't expect it to happen. So you know what? I'm going to get off the fence a little bit. I'm going to say I think he's going to leave.
Yeah, but get off the fence by naming 3 clubs.
Yeah, there you go.
3 quality clubs. But you can imagine him in the Atletico kit, though, can't you?
I quite like it. I like the shout. Yeah,
it's a really good shout.
Thoughts?
I think there's a lot of players in the league at the moment, and due to the way that things are shifting financially, might find themselves not stuck. I think Nottingham Forest are a great team to be at, but at the same time, I think they'll probably go to him and go, look, you can be one of the figureheads of wherever it is that we're going to go, as long as things go financially right for us. I can't see why another club is going to take a punt on him when there's probably more value in the market on the continent.
Okay, interesting.
23 as well.
Interesting on that
really
one.
Good player, amazing player.
Yeah, really good talent. Really good talent. Next up, Sheffield United. The question we're asking is, can Chris Wilder keep Sheffield United in the Premier League? Flex, will come to you. 60 seconds on the clock. What are your thoughts, mate?
I don't think so. Which is it's quite sad because when Chris Wilder came up with Sheffield United that first time, they were unbelievable. Just before lockdown, I mean, that was probably the worst thing to happen to Sheffield.
The overlapping centre-backs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there was really, really tough to beat. And they're just so far off of that now, and it just goes down to quality as well. I know Chris Wilder's done amazing things there before, but it's beyond him, and I think it's too big of an ask to keep them in the league. 10 points from 21 games, 7 points from safety. Can he pull off the great escape?
No, and I don't think it's anything down to him. I think what he's done for them already is noticeably different. There's just too many teams in the league who are that step ahead of them and are possibly just further ahead in their financial plans and everything else. That's what's going to make it difficult for Sheffield.
Yeah, OK. Should we move on to Spurs?
Let's do it.
Shall we? Because your beloved Tottenham Smiths, but are they going to finish above Arsenal? Ooh. I kind of want to ask you, but let's come to you guys first.
No, I think
it's very tight there.
Yeah, it is.
Really tight.
It's extremely tight, and actually Spurs got players coming back at the perfect time, so they're going to give Arsenal a good run for their money. I think it's going to go right until the latter stages of the season for this one. It's not just going to be a big gap between the two, but I just think after Arsenal's sort of mini crisis where the Arsenal fans were thinking it's all over, we're out the title race, they had the perfect game back against Crystal Palace. They're going to stabilise a little bit, get some confidence, and I think Arsenal will finish above Spurs.
If you say no, it's still tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tight. 3 points in it at the moment.
3 points. Spurs 5th, Arsenal 3rd. 40 points and 43 points, respectively.
And you kind of feel primed for a Champions League place, don't you? Don't you?
Who, Tottenham?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah. Don't Tottenham.
I think Spurs would definitely be in contention for Champions League top 4.
I can get off the fence, Smith. So you're going to finish above Arsenal?
I did. Well, in our pre-season predictions, I predicted Arsenal would finish higher than Tottenham at the start of the season.
Wow, that's the
spirit.
I think it'll be very close, but I think both will finish in top 4.
Splinters. Absolutely.
I think both will finish in top 4.
I believe you're encouraging us, and then you sit there and say that.
I think Arsenal will finish above you.
Yeah, I think probably.
It's hard not to see that.
It's hard not to say that, but hopefully Spurs managed to pull off a great end to the season. Next up, West Ham. This is a really good one. I like this one. Not that I didn't like the others, but I like this. Will joining West Ham get Calvin Phillips a seat on the plane to Euro 2024? Loz, what are your thoughts?
It only ensures even more that he is on that plane. I think Gareth Southgate probably already has a really good idea of who he wants to be in that squad. He's probably told Calvin, look, you need to just go and get another club, because Calvin felt a little bit resistant to moving to certain clubs in the summer. Not that he thinks he's too good or anything. He's a really great character. He's someone who'd be valuable to any Premier League team. That's exactly why Gareth Southgate wants him on that plane. He's adaptable. He's exactly the kind of player that you want in your squad. And he's also under a manager who Gareth Southgate quite likes. I sat in front of Gareth Southgate and David Moyes at Chelsea not long ago. Grass of some else. They didn't say hi. But
surprise.
But they were chatting with each other the whole game and sort of pointing at things out to each other. And it just made me think, there's often these notes swapped between managers, people that they trust. If he's in that entrusted circle, David Moyes is saying, yeah, sure, I'll take care of him.
You've left Flex with 10 seconds.
He was already on the plane.
This is
just the difference between maybe starting or not starting. Even if he stayed at City inactive, Gareth Southgate still would have taken him to the Euros.
I think he'll be on the plane, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. So do I. OK, let's finish off with Wolves. With Wolves then, and we're talking about Pedro Neto. Are they going to be able to keep hold of him, Flex?
No, I think with the problems that they've already had in terms of Gary O'Neill has been very, very vocal about the difficulties that in which he faced as soon as he walked into the club that was there before him. they've already had to sell big players during this summer. I think it'll be the same to further stabilise in the summer coming up, and Pedro Neto is going to be at the top of that list. Fantastic player. So many teams would take him. I think he'd be fantastic at Arsenal. Perfect between him and Saka if they were to mix it. Brilliant. I'd have him at United on the right-hand side. Loads of people would have him.
He had the most assists in the Premier League prior to his injury. So he was on real form. Shame about his injury. Do you think that they will be able to keep hold of him?
I don't think it's whether they're going to be able to keep hold of him, it's whether they almost want to cash in on him. If they stay in the league and they want to roll over some more players, which seems to be some of the financial model there, then why not do that? It's exactly why you get players like Pedro Neto. There's also going to be so much movement in the transfer market next summer. Liverpool are going to be in the market, like you say, possibly on that right wing, but also just with a new manager. Manchester United are going to be dipping in. I can't imagine there'll be a lot of other teams in Europe aren't looking at Pedro Neto at the moment. He's probably Champions League level. Next team he goes to is going to be making that jump.
He got cheered with every ball he kicked, didn't he?
Well, he's an entertainer. You know, he's entertained us all in this country, Mandy, especially in the last 12 months. And as I say, the people in Korea don't get a chance at first hand to see him, and this is their opportunity, and they'll take advantage of it. And anybody that watched the game, you know, from Tokyo will have seen it's the same old Ronaldo from last season, fast and direct and giving defenders all sorts of problems and putting the ball in the back of the net.
And everything coming out of the FC Seoul camp saying it's a momentous occasion. You forget, we're concentrating on Manchester United, you forget what a big day it is for teams like that.
Unbelievable. They'll be going absolutely berserk out there. First and foremost, the fact that Manchester United are there, and secondly, the thought of possibly beating them. You know, if they were to beat Manchester United today, it'll be a day they'll never ever forget, right throughout Korea. And you know, it would be a massive boost for Korean football as well. They had a big boost in the World Cup when they did so well. This again would be, well, sensational. And as the manager said, just going back to the stadium, man, it doesn't look brilliant. Absolutely fantastic, superb teams coming out to quite a welcome. A fantastic night for FC Seoul, and an important night for United to build up in the second match of their tour. The trophy is the Kumho Tires Cup. They shared the trophy in the first game in that 2-2 draw with the Urawa Red Diamonds. If it goes to penalties, and then there will be a winner in tonight's game. So no penalties the last game, they shared the trophy, but certainly there will be a winner in this game. So let's see if United can pick up that cup. We'll join our commentary team of Paddy Cremond, but first, David Stalin.
Yes, well, welcome to Korea, and what a welcome it's been as well. We're at the World Cup Stadium here in Seoul. Of course, it's been an incredible welcome here. We thought we'd had quite a large welcome in Japan. This has certainly been awesome in this stadium. 65,000 tickets sold in 6 hours for this game. Paddy Crone, what can you say about this stadium? Fantastic, isn't it?
Well, I've been in many football stadiums where there's been madness, but never like this. This is absolutely crazy, isn't it? I mean, what a welcome they've given United since they've came to this country. It's crazy. Crazy. I mean, it's very hard for people at home to understand it, but they would have to be here just to see this. Crazy.
Well, let's have a look at the two sides, starting with United, of course. Sir Alex has made a few changes from the game against the Urawa Reds. In come Phil Bardsley at right back. Mikel Silvestre, who made a substitute appearance in the first game, he starts at left back. We're going to see John O'Shea in midfield, in the centre of midfield with Michael Carrick, and Chris Eagles comes into the right. That allows Cristiano Ronaldo to push up front to join Wayne Rooney.
Well, we expect a manager to use all his squad of players, and that's exactly what he's doing. He wants everybody fit for the first game of the season against Reading. So he's got to use all his squad. I'm sure one or two of the people here will be disappointed that there's no Scholes and no Ryan Giggs, but it's still a very strong United team.
No Nani either, of course, or Hargreaves. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to see them in a United shirt. Let's have a look at FC Seoul, though. Not too many familiar names for you in this team. They are missing one player through the Asian Cup. That's midfielder Kim Chi-gun. But they have strength in numbers up front in particular. Top scorer this season with 2 goals so far is Jung Jo-kook. He'll wear the number 9 shirt, and we expect him to be partnered by Ki Sung-young wearing 40. But Ricardo is also very attacking. He'll be wearing 50.
Well, obviously we don't know a great deal about them, Dave, but they're going to play 4-2-4, or the same system as Manchester United play. But there's just been a photograph of a picture of Wayne Rooney come up on the big screens we've got here, and the crowd went absolutely crazy. Then when Ronaldo come on, they went even worse, and then it showed Park, and they went even worse. What an atmosphere that's inside this stadium.
It's very sad for Ji-sung Park, who is unfit tonight to play, of course. He'll be back in action December and January, but he has been out on the pitch today as well with Sir Alex Ferguson, showing that Premiership trophy. Fantastic to see him out there. I know he was disappointed not to play, but thrilled that United are here in Seoul, and says it'll be a massive occasion, a monumental occasion, the FC Seoul chairman has said, and quite a night for Korean professional football in general. And certainly the FC Seoul players will be relishing this challenge against United tonight, Paddy.
Well, it's obviously with United never having been in this country before, the welcome they've got is absolutely ecstatic. Going to be a tough game because you know that everybody wants to beat Manchester United regardless of whether it's the start of the season or not. But that's what the manager will want. He'll want tough games.
Certainly will be a tough game. When you look at the stats here, it's 73% humidity at kickoff and just touching 30 degrees as well. Not the kind of conditions that you're used to back in Manchester.
No, we're not used to it, but obviously it's good for conditioning. Gets players fitter, I think quicker. But at least it's not raining, which it was in Japan. It's lovely here, but as I said, the crowd just going wild every time a United player does anything.
And very similar to the Urawa Reds in the last game in Japan. The FC Seoul players are halfway through their season. They've played 13 matches, so they will be not only used to these conditions, of course, but also in good fitness halfway through their season.
Well, that's going to make it more difficult for United when you're playing against a team that's played so many games. And as you say, halfway through the season, they'll be up to the standard of fitness that they want. United won't, but it's still going to be a very tough game. But that's what they want.
That's what pre-season tours are all about. United with a very busy pre-season schedule as well when they get back to England. But of course, plenty of games here still to come. 2 more matches. We hopefully will see the likes of Nani and Owen Hargreaves before the tour is over. Plenty of youth on the bench for United as well tonight. Looking at the likes of Johnny Evans, Danny Simpson there as well. And Alan Smith on the bench as well. He'll be looking to another chance.
Well, I think most people are a little bit disappointed. Well, we certainly are, and the people at home, without Nani and Owen Hargreaves playing. So, let's see what happens.
United massively popular here in a country where 2/3 of Koreans watch Premiership football, and they say that United are by far the most popular team, not just from England but from Europe in general.
Yes, they are the most popular team. That's all we've heard. We've saw the situation outside the hotel at night and in the morning. I mean, it's crazy.
We're just seeing there some of the FC Seoul dignitaries kicking off the match. That's the idea of this game tonight. It will be quite a spectacle, I'm sure. The fans here out in numbers. I say the ticket allocation here of 65,000 sold out so quickly, and the number of people here not just supporting their local side but particularly supporting United, and very keen to get a glimpse of that man Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo as well. The number of Rooney 10 shirts, he's only just been given the number 10, the number of shirts here with Rooney 10 on the back is outstanding.
Well, by far the most popular players are Rooney and Ronaldo, and Brian and Paul Scholes just behind them. But I mean, I'm looking at the back of one of the goals that we can't see. The United flags everywhere, and that grey row that has gone up is because Alex Ferguson has all of a sudden appeared on the screen. And there's Rooney. That's what the crowd are getting excited about as well.
Very excited indeed, and he said yesterday when I spoke to him he's very much looking forward to this game. For him, he mentioned the big word, and that's fitness, and that's what they're all looking for tonight. Hopefully a couple of goals along the way. A big spectacle for FC Seoul, of course, with United coming here. Everybody waiting, the fans certainly ready for this one, and here we go. Fireworks to get the game going. Let's hope there's some more of that during the 90 minutes. Straight away, Seoul on the attack. And Rio Ferdinand across to clear the danger.
Well, they're trying to claim the corner kick, but Rio Ferdinand did very well to just shepherd it out.
A very noisy start to this game. We had quite a noisy start in Japan. The crowd went quiet after that. I don't think this crowd are going to be quiet tonight.
Well, the big problem we've got here, Dave, it's hard to distinguish the numbers on the backs of the Seoul team, because I believe they wear the same strip as AC Milan. That's why they've got their colours, but you cannot see the numbers.
Certainly does make it a bit more challenging for us. And challenging for you watching as well. They do model themselves on AC Milan. That's the team who they've liked to copy with their strip. The gold numbers on the back don't help. Patrice Evra going up for the ball there. He's been pushed forward a little bit tonight with Mikel Silvestre coming in behind him. We know Evra can attack so well down that left-hand side.
Yeah, well, we know Evra can get down the line.
Vidic. Ferdinand out to Phil Bardsley. Good to see him starting at right back tonight. Straight away the cheers up again for Rooney. Throws it to Cristiano Ronaldo. Nice work from him. Bardsley in there as well. Rooney. Two players watching his every move. We might have to get used to that as this game goes on.
Yeah. Well, they'll know the danger, man. The sole team, obviously, that'll be Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney.
John O'Shea starting in central midfield tonight. And again for Bardsley. The danger's well cleared in the end. We expect to see a lot of play down the wings, I suppose, and we'll look to see Chris Eagles get involved. Good season for him in the reserves last season and pushing for a place here in the first team at United.
Well, obviously that goal at Everton's given him a big boost.
Great finish it was as well from Eagles in a quite extraordinary game at Goodison Park. Silvestre. Patrice Evra ahead of him. Lovely skill from Evra. Carrick looking for the run of Rooney. Evra's up there as well. An inventive cross from Patrice Evra. So near to coming off so early on.
Well, he had to play it very early, and with him playing it so early, there's nobody in the box.
The amount of attacking talent for United on this pitch, particularly, we expect to see goals tonight. FC Seoul are the draw specialists, though. 6 0-0 draws in 13 games so far this season. United only had 1 in the whole of last season, and that was that game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, with nothing really to play for.
A great bit of skill that by Patrice Evra.
Gets even better when you see it on the replay.
Yep.
Vidic. Van der Sar, another player who was singled out for a spectacular welcome here. In fact, both goalkeepers on the pitch have scored in their professional careers. Perhaps we might see a shot or two from them. All through towards Rooney. John O'Shea. Down to Ronaldo. He'll try it from anywhere. Just over the bar.
Why not? Nice little knockdown by John O'Shea. Yeah, it just doesn't hit the target, but still gets a great roar from the crowd.
I'm sure we'll see plenty more of those from Cristiano Ronaldo as the night goes on. Already him and Wayne Rooney seeing a lot of the ball. In fact, the FC Seoul goalkeeper is one to look out for. He's known for his bizarre hairstyles and erratic goalkeeping, I'm told. Perhaps the Korean Bruce Grobbelaar. Good work from Evra. Silvestre on the overlap, if we can find him.
Just crowded out. He made a good run. Mikel Silvestre.
Rooney to Ronaldo. It's the combination they've come to see. And those are the goals they've come to see tonight. And it's not just the United fans on their feet, but the home fans love that.
Yeah, he got a lot of time and a lot of space there, Cristiano Ronaldo. The manager will be quite happy with the start, but
well, after scoring against the Urawa Reds, he takes his scoring boots into Korea.
Well, it's a nice little ball from Rooney. They give him a lot of time to take his shot. The goalie might have done better, but made the crowd at the back of one goal very, very happy anyway. A little bit slow getting down Kim B Young G.
But after his 17 goals last season in the league, he certainly kept that form going in pre-season this season. And perhaps with those new signings coming in, we might see more of him up front pedal.
Well, he's equally comfortable there. Oh, he's looking for a free kick there, referee. He's took a dive.
It was Ju Jung-kook who went down rather easily.
Well, I think he took a dive there because he was never getting it. You just watch this. He's never getting there, so I'll throw myself down just in case, but no, doesn't fool the referee. Yeah, that's Ronaldo's shot. Took a little bobble in front of the goalkeeper.
Well, Jung Jung-kook, who went through there and went down as well, Seoul's top scorer, but only scored 2 goals. In fact, the team have only got 7 in their 13 matches. But I'm told he is one of the real danger men in this team. Taken quickly, too quickly for referee Kim Dong-jin, who calls Seoul back. You get the feeling early on they like to break and use the pace of Jung Jung-kook up front. Here he goes again.
Oh, he's not giving a free kick for that, surely. He is very quick, this lad. Very, very quick.
Ryan Giggs there, one of the players to miss out. I would love to have seen him, no doubt about that.
This is the goal again. As I said, the goalie's will not be very happy when he sees that.
Just seemed to bounce in front of him there.
Yeah, it just bobbled in front of the goalkeeper and bounced over him.
A dangerous position this for FC Seoul. It's Ricardo who's over the ball. Plenty in the middle, including Ki Sung-jung. It's Ronaldo who scored. Ricardo who's going to try. Referee just waiting for that wall. It is Ricardo. And smacked straight into the wall. And now Rooney with a chance to break. He's got Eagles outside him. Patrice Evra on the left as well. It's Eagles.
Oh, he just played it that split second too early.
Ronaldo. Lovely ball to Evra. John O'Shea. Very quick United break though from this man's free kick, Ricardo. The game being played at quite a pace, particularly considering the conditions here tonight. Adilson. Ricardo is a long way out, and in the end, quite a way wide.
Well, he is a Brazilian, and you expect things from them. Well, people expect things from Brazilian players, but they usually do a little bit better than this. Doesn't trouble the goalkeeper at all. No problem for the goalie.
Up from Van der Sar, Rooney underneath it. Seoul will have the throw-in. Only founded in 1983, Seoul, but they've already had 3 names. Moved 3 times as well. Finally coming back to Seoul just over 3 years ago. Another fabulous stadium though. Here tonight we were treated to the Saitama Stadium in Japan. Well, it was cheeky. Van der Sar seemed to have it covered.
Yeah, a little bit of skill. He's trying to screw it in past the goalkeeper, but the angle was too tight for him. Well, it doesn't trouble the goalkeeper. He probably possibly putting it in early, but he didn't.
Sar. A lot of talk about him in the papers in the last few days, out of contract in the summer, of course. Great signing for United over the last few years, of course. 41 clean sheets in 2 seasons in all competitions. His experience certainly shining through to some of the younger players in the ranks. Ricardo looking for Jung-Jo Cook, but it's with him. Plenty forward here for FC Seoul. Ricardo in the centre. In the end, it was a disappointing effort, really.
Yeah, but Cook could cause a problem up front. He's at great pace. Now, that doesn't trouble the goalkeeper either, but Cook could be the one because Ricardo keeps looking for him.
Carrick. One for Eagles to chase. Kim Byung-ji will mop up at the back. Flick on in the end from Jung-Jo Cook. He does look dangerous in these early stages. Carrick towards Rooney. Certainly felt that challenge.
Oh, Wayne. That was retaliation there from Wayne.
Seoul certainly not happy with Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, just a little whip his own back. The referee could have taken his name for that. The full back hop still protesting. That was silly, Wayne.
It was Kwak Tai Hui who challenged Rooney in the first place. It's a bit fortunate that Kim Dong-jin didn't see that. Bardsley with the tackle. Here's Silvestre. Just beaten to it there. Evra was the furthest player forward for United. Ki Sung-jung, Ricardo. Jung-Jo Cook again doing a lot of the running. Evra again. Just dropping into centre forward now. O'Shea. Rooney. Ronaldo going through the centre. Rooney picking him out.
Oh dear me, if Ronaldo goes down there, he gets a penalty to the referee. Great ball from Wayne Rooney. Yeah, smash and run by Cristiano. He gets in there. If that was some teams, he'd be falling over the goalkeeper.
He won the race quite easily there between him and Kim Byung-ji, 37-year-old goalkeeper. A very popular player with the fans here. Over 60 caps for South Korea, 3 World Cups as well. Beaten to the ball on that occasion. Jung-Jo Cook, a long way out.
Yeah, Russian blood to the head.
Ball from Silvestre picking out Chris Eagles.
Just a little bit early as well.
Mistake from Adilson gives United a corner. Good pressure from Rooney.
He made a mess of Adilson.
Chance now for Ferdinand and Vidic to go forward. It's a tall back line for FC Seoul tonight. And it did come through to Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, well, they've got to get back because there's 4 players against 3.
Led by Jung-Jo Cook. Eagles has got back. Ricardo centre. And Ferdinand and Carrick together do enough. Ronaldo. Here's Rooney. And for Ronaldo again. Just a little bit too much of him.
Yeah, he was asking a lot of Cristiano to get the end of that one.
Considering the heat and the humidity tonight, Paddy, both sides hitting on the break quickly and very effectively too.
Yep. I'm surprised as United doing it after only one game.
Carrick battling with Ricardo. Adilson. He's proving to be quite a handful for United back four.
He has. He's done well to win that ball against Vidic.
If you're a striker with pace and you're 6'1" to boot, it's not a bad combination. Sylvestre. John O'Shea, the most prolific of United's strikers last season. Some crucial goals as well. 5 attempts in the league and 4 goals came from them, from John O'Shea. And more important than that one at Anfield. Ronaldo. Cheekily looking for Wayne Rooney, and even more cheeky towards Eagles. And there's the second. Ronaldo involved again. And Chris Eagles with a lovely finish, and United well in control.
Well, I think the defence again lets them down here. So because they all stood and looked at Ronaldo. They stood and looked at him, and Chris Eagles just made a little run. Nobody picked him up. They find it a little bit easy down there, United. Well, this is Ronaldo. They all go to Ronaldo. Nobody picks Chris Eagles up at all. Gets all the time in the world. Passes it into the net. There's a little bit of skill by Cristiano, but nobody challenging. You've got to challenge round the penalty area. If you don't, that's going to happen to you. Well, passes it into the net.
So Alex Ferguson's side well in control. 1 goal in 1 start for Chris Eagles last season, and he mimics that on the pre-season tour this season. Sol will need a response quite soon. It's 20 minutes gone now, almost. A lot of endeavour from the home side, but as yet, nothing really to worry Edwin van der Sar. Making the run. Ball through to Ricardo there. Evra wins out. Race between Kwak Tai-Hui and Ronaldo. Only really one winner. And Rooney doing it the hard way and doing it the best way. 3 for United, and Wayne Rooney, after a great performance against the Urawa Reds, gets on the score sheet here in Korea.
Oh, the defence is shocking. Shocking. Every time Ronaldo gets the ball, they seem to know of him. They won't tackle him. I mean, that's a good ball to Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney does the right thing. If you're in the penalty box, take the defender on. Because he can't touch you. He has him all over the place. They're finding it very easy out there, United. Maybe it's something the manager doesn't want. But they are playing well, you've got to say. But at the back of 1 goal here, it's all United flags and banners, and they're all in red, and they're all jumping up and down the driving every time United have scored. But they're finding it very easy.
When you come to an away ground with a capacity of 65,000, you expect, when the away team score, for it to be quite quiet. Not in this case.
Certainly not.
So many Korean fans who welcomed the United team at the airport and at the hotel as well, saying they were honoured to have them in their country and pleased to see them on the pitch here tonight. Many of them lost for words when we spoke to them about how it felt.
We're talking about the younger generation as well, so many kids.
Eagles. Shea makes the run into the centre, so did Rooney. It's a corner off Adilson. Another chance for United to put some pressure on this side.
Well, it's easy, this, isn't it? Well, nobody really going to challenge him. The wind takes him on and mesmerises him. That's number 3.
Bardsley will take this throw. Successful loan spells last season and the season before as well. Wants to get his chance to get into the United first team this time round. So does this man, Chris Eagles. Footwork from him. Bardsley in support. Carrick. 3 United shirts in the middle. One of them's O'Shea. All the way back to Rooney. Just dragged that one wrong.
Just ball was in front of him as he went to hit it.
And a big roar goes up with Ji-sung Park on the main scoreboard here. Can't get enough of him.
Well, the Tim Arsenal is by far the most popular sportsman in this country.
Shame he's not involved tonight. 63 caps for South Korea. 7 goals in that time. I'm told he even has a street named after him in his hometown of Suwon. Pressure's still on the home side. Even when the ball isn't in play, Ronaldo gets a cheer. Again. Mesmerising. In fact, Tyree.
The crowd enjoying it as well.
Ferdinand. Bardsley out wide if he needs him. Eagles. Just beaten by the sheer numbers there. Now a chance to break. Ricardo. Choi Won-kwon looking for Jung Jo-kook. Silvestre was in the way. Ricardo again. Trying his luck. Van der Sar saw it coming though.
Yeah, he's trying to chip the goalkeeper from a long way out.
On a night like this though, it would be so special for some of these players to score against United. I suppose that's why they keep trying, Paddy.
Well, it would be, I suppose.
Rooney almost took it quickly looking for the run of Michael Carrick. Instead it's Ferdinand. Wonderful footwork from Ronaldo. Love that here. Rooney. Manjevic. Chance for United to slow the game down and take it at their pace now. Well and truly in control with those 3 early goals. Shea wide to Silvestre. Tyree beating him to it. Now a chance for the break. It's too close to Edwin van der Sar. The idea was right though.
Yeah, but the pass has got to be better than that.
Ricardo. Ricardo again. Here's Adilson. Seoul, the draw specialist. They don't lose too many though. Only the 2 defeats so far. They don't let many goals in. Though so far, this is a special occasion. Only 7 let in their 13 games. Certainly been strong enough in the back for the likes of Rooney and Ronaldo. An important part of the side until that injury sustained in the Champions League, that dislocated shoulder. You'd like to see him in action more in the coming season. Ricardo again. Lots of time on the ball. O'Shea just picking his moment. Ronaldo. Has Bardsley outside it, plenty of room for him too. Yeah, 2 men on Wayne Rooney, making the job a lot harder.
He's away again, that's the out ball. Looking for Joe Cook up front. Doesn't find him.
Might find Rooney, just a bit too much pace on it. Again, quick long ball looking for Jung Jo Cook.
He's won it again, Cook. He's done well against the man that did it so far in the air.
Perhaps going to need a bit more support though to do much damage to United.
United's passing so big. There's nothing worse, particularly what conditions you've got to run about when you've not got the ball.
Straight out of the coaching manual though, isn't it? If you can pass it, you don't have to run too much.
Look at that ball there from Mikel Silvestre.
Eagles found Bardsley almost there. Long again from Adilson. No real target. Up there for FC Seoul though. Manager Senyor Gunes, former manager of Turkey for 4 years, and took them to the semi-final of the World Cup in 2002. They lost to Brazil. Here's the man from Portugal from distance. And so very near to a 4th.
Well, that was a tremendous strike there. That was a tremendous shot. Every time he gets the ball is a problem for them. Tremendous effort. Every time he gets the ball, the crowd go wild as well. The goalkeeper wouldn't have stopped that if it had been between the sticks.
I was told today that if Seoul had any chance of winning today, they had to keep Ronaldo quiet, and so far he scored 1, made 2, and come very close to getting another 2.
Very hard to keep Ronaldo quiet.
Silvestre will take the throw for United. Ronaldo certainly felt that one. Carrick. Bardsley and Eagles patrolling the right as ever. Eagles. Rooney leaving it for John O'Shea.
He's not happy with himself, John. The touch was too heavy.
United started the last game on this tour with Carrick, Fletcher, Scholes and Ronaldo in the midfield. Scholes, Giggs and Fletcher are all amongst the substitutes tonight. We may well see them at some point. Joined on the bench by the likes of Johnny Evans, Danny Simpson, Wes Brown, Alan Smith, and the 2 keepers, of course, Kuszak and Heap. Here's Ricardo. As well to keep it in, looking for Jung Jo Cook. And again, Vidic closes the door very quickly. Not just quick when he has the ball, the home side's number 9, but quick running off the ball as well. Lee Chung-yong, who was taken down by the other number 27, Mikel Silvestre. We've seen Ricardo have a go from a bit closer than this. Surely this won't be a shot.
Well, he's got big fellas in the box, so he's going to look for them.
Kwak Tai-wee has come up from the back. Ki Sung-young, a threat from set pieces here as well. It's in from Ricardo. I wasn't too far away from a shot in the end.
Well, nobody attacked the free kick. They just let it go through to the goalkeeper.
And so far, Paddy, that man Edwin van der Sar has had a pretty quiet night.
Well, he won't want to have a quiet night. I mean, he's got to go up to match standard like everybody else, so he'll want a bit of action.
Adilson at the back, signed from the same side as Dong Fan-Zhu came to United from. And of course on international duty with China in the Asia Cup. Ronaldo picking up the pieces so well there. And busting his way through. Getting fouled, he's used to that though.
Well, he's got so much skill. Sometimes it's the only way you can stop him.
Well, Premiership sides are used to stopping him like that. Fouled 100 times last season, I'm told.
Well, his close control, so good.
No doubt the home side struggling to keep him quiet tonight. Rooney looking for Eagles in space. John O'Shea, the only man in the centre. Adilson it was who got it away. Back to Eagles. Rooney and Everett join O'Shea. Carrick as well. Ronaldo. Jung Jo Cook tidying up. Carrick as ever though stepping in to sort things out for United. Here's Bardsley. Good to see these players who've been loaned out to other clubs coming back, having had very good seasons. The likes of Bardsley, Danny Simpson and Johnny Evans as well, who looks a real talent. Silvestre just guilty there. Push on Lee Chung-yong. Important night for the likes of Mikel Silvestre as well, Paddy.
Well, they all need games, that's the important thing about it. That's why we've got so many pre-season matches, so everybody can get plenty of games. Such a strong squad of players they've got, United. But there's one or two you'd like to see fit. Talking about Hargreaves and, of course, Louis Saha. Oh, well played. Well played.
Adilson showing he's got the footwork as well.
Great bit of skill from him, which the crowd certainly enjoyed that.
Particularly impressive when you consider Wayne Rooney was bearing down on him. Here goes Seoul. Chi-jung towards Jung Jo Cook. Just a bit too much height on it.
Joe Cook's not happy with him anyway. It was a poor ball into the box.
That's one thing Wayne Rooney does give you when he's up front. The work rate is always one of the highest order.
Always put people under pressure.
Bardsley. under 10 minutes left in this first half. The first half United have controlled easily. Eagles. Bardsley again out wide. Plenty forward for United here. O'Shea looking for the run of Evra.
Yeah, he's offside, but they're finding it very easy down there, United. Of course, when your passing's good, it's very difficult for the other team to get the ball.
Easy decision for the referee's assistant there. Here comes Sol.